Hi, and welcome back to the Building Your Immune System series. I'm Christina. By now you know that I am a chef and a functional nutrition coach. And while my work often centers on food and how our individual bodies can utilize the food that we eat, if I'm deep in my work with a client, we're not leaving any stones unturned. And that means we're looking at all aspects of their life and their lifestyle. Because, after all, every person is unique and everything matters. So today we're talking about movement and why it matters. Exercise is absolutely necessary to stay healthy in both body and mind. But I want you thinking more about just how you move your body on a daily basis. And I also want to talk about over-exercising and the impact that's negative when that occurs. So we're going to dive right in. Being a couch potato is a terrible thing to be as a human being. A sedentary lifestyle will slow down your digestion, cause you to gain weight, depress your immune system, increase fatigue, tamper with your sleep, and sometimes even lead to mental health issues. Sitting on the couch will literally get you nowhere. Human beings are made to move, and yet our movement has been outsourced. Little conveniences that we have in our modern world are actually opportunities lost to move. Think about it. So back in the olden days, if you wanted to turn on the television, change a channel, or turn the volume up or down, you got up, you walked over to the television set, and you played with the dials, right? Now, we sit there and push a couple buttons. Or what about the cell phones that we all carry around with us, these little pocket computers, right? If the phone rang in our house growing up, we made a mad dash to the phone to be the first person to answer it. Not anymore, we just pull it from our pocket, right? And even our little kids have phones. And what if you want to learn something new? What if there's a word that you want to know how to spell? You ask the question to the lady on the phone, you know who I'm talking about. Instead of getting up, going and find a dictionary, flipping through the pages and finding the word that you want to learn how to spell. Or what if you want extra information about something? You can Google it on your phone now, but you couldn't back in the day. You actually had to go to the library and search the card catalog and find the books and gather them up so that you could learn something new. It was all about movement. But now we have these beautiful conveniences that rob us of the opportunity to move. When I'm talking to my clients about movement, of course, I want them exercising. But really what I'm trying to get them to start thinking about is moving. There's a difference. Even in exercise, okay, we think we have to go to the gym and run on the treadmill. Now there's nothing wrong with that per se, that continuous repetitive movement on a treadmill can actually open you up to injury because of the repetitive nature of the movement. So what I talk to my clients about is maybe take that run and go outside with it. Run on the sidewalk in your city, in your town, or go run around the park. In doing so, being outside, your feet are falling on different levels, right? So your body is having to adapt its balance. You're connecting your brain with the movement that you're doing. Your brain has to be aware to keep you upright. It also adds to your flexibility, that moving like that. You're also outside. You're getting some sunlight, vitamin D. Really important, especially as we've come out of the winter months, right? To build up our stores of vitamin D again. And also, if you're outside, maybe you can wave at a neighbor, see that there's a new house being built or a new store that's been opened. I started to say shop and store and it came out store. Anyway, that's the day it is, I guess. Exercise is super vital for a healthy immune system. Science has shown that exercise actually decreases inflammation. It improves our heart health, decreases our blood pressure, actually treats depression and helps prevent it. It slows aging, triggers the growth of new brain cells, which is new science because it used to be thought that you were born with the number of brain cells that you had and there was no regeneration. But that's not actually the case. And the more you exercise, the more brain cells will grow and reproduce. And exercise helps reduce the risk of dementia. Those are all really good things. So exercise is vitally important. So I always get the question, well, what kind of exercise should I do? And I have 4 words for you. Do what you love. Angel singing. It's really not that complex. I want you doing things that you love, because if you love what you're doing, you are likely to do it more. And you won't have your functional nutrition coach coaching you firmly to get moving if you're doing what you love. So this is the example I always love to give. Okay, so we all know who J-Lo is, right? And J-Lo, when she first started working out, started becoming famous, she was very concerned that in working out, she was going to lose her backside. And this was something that she was not about to do because that's kind of what she was known for, is having this really curvaceous backside. Not my point, but I'm just trying to set some groundwork here. So J-Lo actually exercises for 6 hours a day. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to exercise for 6 hours a day. And that's not my point. I don't think you should be exercising for 6 hours a day. But my point is, she spends 2 hours doing Pilates and weight training, and she spends 4 hours a day dancing. She's a dancer. She's doing what she loves. She's taking the exercise protocol that she's created for herself and been trained in, and she's still weighing more heavily that thing that she loves to do the most. So that's what I want you doing. The only exercise that you're going to do consistently is the exercise you enjoy. So whether it's kickboxing, running, dancing, rowing, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing it. And to get the most health benefits, you really do want to get your heart rate up for at least 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. So it can't just be a 30-minute exercise once a week, folks. That doesn't do anything. You're not going to reap the health benefits of better heart health and lower blood pressure. You actually have to be doing this thing 3 to 4 times a week, okay? And in the beginning, if 30 minutes is just too much, you can't do that, then break that 30 minutes up into 5 or 10-minute segments that just get your heart rate up. So, think 5 minutes of jumping jacks or jump rope, or 5 minutes of jogging in place. You get the idea. You can break it up so that you get a total of 30 minutes over the course of the day. So the question is, what about the remaining days? So I said exercise 3 to 4 times a week. What about the remaining days? Well, this is where you really get to have some fun and incorporate some new things. Mix it up. Hiking is one thing that I love to do when I'm not in my exercise mode. I can walk all day anywhere. I have a passion for hiking. I want to be outside, and even if I'm climbing, it doesn't matter to me. I find so much joy in it. I do an exercise called Soul Core, which is stretching and body strength training, all while praying the rosary. So I have kind of a meditation movement going on, which is amazing for my spirit and for my body as I'm doing these weight resistant kind of exercises. Think about walking the dog, right? The dogs love going for walks. So get out there and walk around the neighborhood. Again, it's an opportunity to get out, see some flowers, breathe some fresh air, greet the neighbors. while practicing physical distancing. So you get the idea? Moving, just moving. Some other ideas. How about washing your car in the driveway instead of driving it to a drive-through car wash or letting someone else wash it for you? What about mowing your lawn instead of hiring a gardener? Or calling a dance break when you've just had too much time sitting in front of your computer and you just can't take it anymore. All of these things are great ways to incorporate movement. I recently discovered that I was kind of losing my ability to squat down on the floor and get up comfortably. I decided that was not going to be an option. So every day I do something to where I have to get down on the floor and get back up. And the more I do it, the more that movement's coming back to me. And I love it because you know what? I'm eventually going to have grandchildren, God willing. And I want to be able to get down on the floor and play with them. So if I want to be able to do that, I have to practice that movement now. I can't lose it. Make sense? So exercise, yes, but movement more. Think about ways that you can move, and you can stop outsourcing all of your movements for the sake of convenience. Now, in terms of over-exercising, here's the deal. Especially in the season of viral threat, I don't want you to overdo exercise. Too much exercise when you're already stressed, when things are out of whack, or you're in a season where you're likely getting exposed to a lot of other things, that is not the time to put your body under extreme physical stress. So keep that in mind. And over-exercising comes in a lot of different forms, but there's two that I'd like to point out because although I do work with men, most of my clients are women. And I'd like to introduce you to two women that I know in the way they over-exercise. So, do you know Kill It Christy? She's the one who doesn't exercise for years. She finds herself in a stressful job, not eating well or consistently, and she's gaining weight. She joins a CrossFit gym. She jumps in. She exercises until she's ready to puke. And she tears her rotator cuff for the third time. Do you know Kill It Christy? I do. She used to be me. You see, there's a difference between giving yourself patience, offering yourself patience to slowly build up the strength training like a beast. And I didn't offer that opportunity to myself. And I also mentioned that I was in a really stressful job. All things matter. So that stressful job added inflammation to my body and allowed and weakened my body over time. And that's what led to my rotator cuff being torn for the third time. Don't be Kill It Christy. And then there's somebody else I'd like to introduce you to. How about Beat Myself Up Betty? Do you know her? Yeah. She's the one who runs on the treadmill for an hour. Like, run. Like, she's after it. She's killing it. And then she moves to the stair machine, where she demands her body keep climbing for miles. And then she drops to the floor for 200 crunches, followed by 100 push-ups. She'll tell you she loves exercise, but what she's really doing is beating herself up. You see, she doesn't like the baby pudge that she has. She's partnering with negative self-talk. And she'll keep going like that, partnering with that negative self-talk. And her body, over time, will begin to hold on to even more fat. And specifically, it'll begin to hold on to fat right around her middle, because that's where we women will put on our weight. And in putting on that extra weight, that fat there becomes hormone creating. And then we're in a feedback loop where we're exercising, just demanding crazy things from our body, and our body's holding on to the fat to protect itself, and our hormones are raging, and the weight won't go anywhere, and the negative self-talk continues, and at some point she breaks. So stop the negative self-talk, and don't be a beat yourself up Betty, okay? Can we find a balanced approach? Yes, you can. Yes, exercise, but do it with kindness and support of your body. Not to get into a smaller pair of pants, not to kill the numbers on your spin bike or on your treadmill. Numbers don't matter. Numbers cannot define your strength. They don't know your strength. So let go of those numbers, let go of the notion of getting into smaller pants, and exercise for your health, exercise for your heart, your mental health, your spiritual health for that matter. Exercise because it's the right thing to do. Then, when you're in that frame of mind, if you happen upon a day where you're supposed to hit that exercise and you know what, your body's telling you, no, I can't do that today. No, I don't want that today. And there's a difference between the challenge of just talking ourselves out of exercise because we just don't want to do it, and our body speaking to us. So tune into what your body's telling you and listen. And when it says, you know what, I need a break today, have the grace for yourself to do so. Get back on it tomorrow, okay? Find exercise and movement that you love to do and be consistent about it. Do it because you love yourself. All right, that's what I have to say about that. So our next video in the series coming up is all about rest and how we can set up a routine to make sure that our bodies can get the rest that they so desperately need. I'll see you next time.